So, in previous videos, we've talked about the food plant explosions that have happened in 2022, but I don't think I've shared the extent of what's really going on. Let's take a look at that now. Is there some type of agenda behind all of these recent explosions? Let's take a look at the last 3 years. I have a list here that goes over the last 3 years of food plant explosions. And as you can see, back in 2019, there was a food explosion in Tyson. And this list is mainly for people that feel that it could be a natural occurrence, like, basically food plants explode all the time and different things like that. This list only goes through April of this year, and then there have been several since then. So with that being said, I'll just kind of go through some on this list. As you can see, in 2021, I'll just kind of make it brief. In 2021, 6 food plant explosions. So between 2019 and 2021, there were just a total of 7 food plant explosions, right? Let's move on to 2022. Okay, so this list goes through April of 2022. And as you can already see, versus the 7 that we've had in years prior to 2022, 2022 just blows that out of the water. Here we're looking at, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And like I said, there's several more. But since 2022 has started, there have been 16 food plant explosions. That doesn't sound fishy to you? I don't know.
Before we get into all the bizarre food processing plant fires that have happened just since the beginning of 2022, it's worth considering what Klaus, Great Reset, Fourth Industrial Revolution, merging biology with technology, demolish the food supply, you'll own nothing and be happy, Schwab said about energy and food systems.
History is truly at a turning point. We do not yet know the full extent and the systemic and structural changes which will happen. However, we do know that global energy systems, food systems and supply chains will be deeply affected.
That global energy systems, food systems and supply chains will be deeply affected.
Energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected, he says. Could it be that by deeply affected, he means that he and his trillionaire globalist henchmen will see to it that they're deeply affected? You tell me if what I'm about to show you is mere coincidence. This isn't a matter of 1 or 2 food processing plants being deeply affected by fire in the last 10 years. We're talking about 16 of them being severely damaged or completely destroyed by fire just in the last 4 months. Here's a quick rundown for you to share with everybody that you know on your social media platforms. This all started on the very first day of 2022. January 1st, Van Drunen Farms Tut Hill plant in Moments, Illinois sustained 75% damage to its 80,000 square foot freeze drying facility due to a fire, considered a total loss by company officials. On January 13th, firefighters worked for over 12 hours putting out the Cargill Nutrina plant on Feed Mill Road off Highway 71 in LeCompte, Louisiana. The fire was caused by a mysterious explosion. On January 21st, a fire which started in a dehydrator at about 5:30 p.m. completely destroyed the Washington Potato Company in Warden, Washington. On February 1st, Harper's Market poultry plant closed after a massive fire destroyed their building in Hamilton Mountain. On February 3rd, Wisconsin River Meats lost all their processing equipment in a fire in Mauston, Wisconsin. On February 15th, Bonanza Meat Company was devastated by a fire in El Paso, Texas. On February 28th, an explosion and fire destroyed the Shearer Foods Hermiston plant in Hermiston, Oregon. It's said to have started with a boiler explosion. On March 16th, a Nestle facility in Jonesboro that caught fire remained shut down as of March 21st as officials continued to assess the damage. The Jonesboro Fire Department said it found a fire inside a, quote, large piece of a production line cooler at the plant. They also said that, quote, due to the construction makeup of the cooler, the fire could not be easily assessed. That was in Jonesboro, Arkansas. On that same day, March 16th, around 1,000 employees were inside a Walmart fulfillment center in Plainfield, Indiana, near Indianapolis, when a fire broke out. Crews battled the blaze for more than 75 hours. On March 28th, 50,000 pounds of food was destroyed after a fire ripped through Maricopa Food Pantry in Arizona. Just days later, on March 31st, a massive fire overtook the Rio Fresh onion packing facility in San Juan, Texas. Less than 2 weeks later, on April 11th, a fire destroyed the East Conway beef and pork plant in New Hampshire. 2 days later, on April 13th, a plane crashed into, of all places, the Gem State potato and food processing plant in Idaho. On that same day, April 13th, a massive fire destroyed 90% of a 225,000 square foot Taylor Farms processing facility in Salinas, California. Making the situation even more dangerous during the fire were the 35,000 gallons of ammonia the facility had on site, an explosive chemical that forced even fire crews to evacuate the scene. And on April 18th, the headquarters of Azure Standard, the nation's premier independent distributor of organic and healthy food, was destroyed by, you guessed it, fire overnight in Dufur, Oregon. Now, many will have us believe that all these food processing plant fires in a 4-month period is mere coincidence. They tell us that there are no nefarious plans to deeply affect the food supply? You gotta be crazy. But what does history tell us about psychopathic leaders who tamper with the food supply for the compliance of the masses? And if we don't learn from that history, are we doomed to repeat it? I'm telling you right now, America and the world better wake up quick.
And I'm just going to leave you with this last little verse. When the disciples were asking Yeshua about the end times and what would be the signs, he said, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Repent, for the end is near." Shalom.